kicking it off. Welcome to the Hoots Happenings Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Wilshire. I've got with me the owner, co-owner, Kathleen Russell.
Hello.
Steven's running around out here in the back doing some work. She put him to work.
He never stops working.
Never stops. Never stops. All right, so we're bringing this to all the fans so you guys can see what's coming up every week, and we're going to talk about what's going on, what's happening. We'll show the place off. You can show this to your friends and show everyone what the dance floor looks like. We'll have some B-roll in here that shows. I'll run through and make sure they can see. I think this is the biggest dance floor out here.
Yeah, it's pretty big. In comparison to others, I'm not exactly sure, but ours is about 1,000 square foot.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good sized dance floor.
I don't bump into very many people when I dance on this floor.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot out there.
Yeah.
But I don't bump into very many. And y'all took the sidewalls down.
Yes.
A little while back, the people catchers.
When we first took over the bar, took out the side rails, remodeled the front and back bar both from the ground up. So just tore it completely down and rebuilt it, and brought in the granite.
I know, this was a great, what was that before? It was like peeling leather.
It was a Formica with a big foamy, disgusting catcher of all liquids.
Right, and I think at one time it had been padded, but it was just the foamy was left,
It was
right?
padded, it was disgusting, it was time for a change.
Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah, you never realize, just how gross something is till you start cleaning. And then you're like, wait a minute, what happened here? I find that in my house. I know that I've lifted the couch up one time to find something, and I went, thank God nobody was in this house when I lifted that couch up. How did all that happen? You know? I don't remember any of that ever making its way into my house. All right, cool. So you guys bought the bar how many years ago now?
We bought it in 2019.
2019.
So almost 5 years at the end of this year.
Right, and almost like 3 days before COVID started.
Yes, we purchased it about in December, just the two of us, and COVID shut everything down, I believe, in March.
Right.
So.
And that was lean 8 months, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a rough 8 months. We did a lot of the remodeling at that time.
Right.
We built the patio out back. Steven did all of the top to bottom on both the bars. Him and Lewis.
Right. And I think I always think of. Do you ever watch 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen?
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do.
But he goes broke, and he's trying to figure out why. And he goes to an accountant, and it's that guy that just died recently, Richard Lewis. And he goes, well, normal people, this is their bank account, and he pokes a hole through the bottom of it, and he pours water, and he goes, this is their income. And as the income goes away, notice there's residual still flowing out of the cup, you know. And so I think of that, and then he shows how Charlie spins, and there's holes all over, and he goes, you quit working, so there's no residual. And I can just imagine you guys, y'all were working your butts off in here, and you're probably the whole time going, my God, looking at the bank account, and it's just dwindling, and there's no income.
It was scary times.
Yeah, and then
scary times.
Then one day the governor was like, "Okay, we're 50%," and then one day he was like, "It's open."
Well, we ended up getting our we got a food truck, and we ended up getting our license changed where we could be a restaurant. And if you were a restaurant, you could open earlier than if it was a bar. So since
that
then,
helped.
Yes. Oh yeah, tremendously.
But now that's all reverted back to a bar license, right? You have to. Yeah,
everything's
you can't.
back to how it was before now.
Yeah, so there's no concealed carry.
No concealed carry.
You can't
no carry at all.
We are back to a bar. There will be no carrying of a weapon in here, right? So, all right. So you guys did that, made it through COVID, and come along to. I got to talk about it. I mean, cornhole. Cornhole was, at one point in time, it was the only thing that got people back out of the house, I think.
Yeah, cornhole has been very big here for us.
Right.
We started, I don't remember exactly when we brought in cornhole. I want to say maybe towards the end of 2020 or early 2021. And we do it, currently we're doing cornhole Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays.
Right.
So, but the cornhole guys, that was a big
I know I drove
ordeal.
by the first time I drove by, and I really knew that things were back to normal. There were like 80 cars in the parking lot.
Yes.
You know, and then I walked in here, and I'm pretty sure I'm exaggerating when I say 80 cars. I don't know, how much does the front parking lot hold, do you know? It was full.
I don't know.
But it seemed like somebody drove 2 cars up here when I came in for the cornhole tournament. I
Yeah.
was in here looking, I'm like, wow.
I think our front parking lot holds about 300.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot.
So.
And you can still move to the back if you had to accommodate. What's the accommodation in here? How many can you get?
350, I
350?
believe, including the patio.
Including the patio.
That's
Okay.
our 400. 400 is our max.
Yeah. The peanut gallery's getting in on this. Thank God. We got a producer with us today, y'all. It's awesome. So 400 people max. Do you
No,
think you've
450. I'm sorry.
You think you ever
I'll
hit
get it right
450 in
eventually.
here?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Oh yes.
Well, I bet those
I
just
feel like we've had more than 450.
shoulder to shoulder, huh?
Yes.
The whole way
Yeah.
through.
When we first reopened after COVID, it was a madhouse all the time, all the time, because there weren't a lot of places open yet. So, but you know, we still have bands now that, you know, they'll bring in 450 plus.
Right.
So.
Right. And you have to, I always love to tell people whenever they go, hey, can you get me in with Hoots? I sure can. You have to be this tall to ride that ride. You got to be the kind of person that can bring in 100, 200, 300 people.
Yeah.
If you've got a cult following, you can very easily play at Hoots.
Absolutely.
If you do not have a following, I am so sorry. They may have you on the sick list. If one of the artists calls out,
Backup.
you could be the backup to the backup type thing, because, and that's rough. I mean, I do the consulting for bars. I help people out all the time, and they always ask me what brings people in, and I tell them cold drinks.
Yeah.
You got to start there. You got to get your revenue built up off of serving alcohol, being responsible, not letting anyone get too unruly, build up off that, and then whenever you start getting revenue in, then you can start, okay, we want to try this. You know, cornhole's a great thing. Darts brings people in,
Yeah.
but you need that steady growth of somebody being a regular,
Sure.
because regulars totally sell.
Yeah.
And then you can have your wild nights where you get 400 come in to see.
Sure.
I know it was before y'all owned it, but Bart Crow came in here, and let me tell you something, they ran out of everything. It was hot. They didn't have buckets to sell buckets of beer in. You were lucky if you got 3 drinks that whole night. I'm sure they did well revenue-wise because you just sold out of everything.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, it was miserable.
I've heard some rough stories about that night.
I was over here in the corner over by the Golden Tea Machine, so I did not experience any of the roughness.
Yeah.
I was in an area where us elderly people of 50 years old and above are, so, you know, I mean, I don't think that's where 50-year-old people hang out. We just congregated amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was really funny. So, all right, so now we moved on past cornhole, so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That you do cornhole. What's Wednesday?
Wednesdays we have free pool, free darts, and $15 buckets till close.
Good.
We are looking at bringing in, possibly doing an open mic night on Wednesdays. That'll probably be a few weeks out. We're still, you know, crossing the T's, dotting the I's on that, and getting all the details together of how we want to run it. So right now it's just a fun hump day night.
Fun hump day night, right? I'm sorry, I think that hump day is a day worth celebrating.
I agree.
Being halfway through the week,
Yes.
you know, being halfway through the week is just such a great thing.
Yes.
And I have a funny bar story about hump day. So I was in a bar in the north side of Houston, and worked for them as a consultant and helped get them going in the right direction, and became kind of a regular since I was always there. But I'm always funny whether I'm drinking or not, and I'm always cutting jokes whether I'm drinking or not. And this one guy learned my name, and that was about the time that Camel commercial, hump day, you know, Mike. So he's at the end of the bar. As I walk in through the door and I come in and I sit down, this other couple comes in with me and sits down. And the husband's sitting by me and the wife's sitting on the other side. And this guy starts yelling across the bar, Mike, what day is it? And I laughed, and the lady leans over and goes, how does that man know your name? have you been coming down here without me? Are you a regular here now? And he goes, I don't know who that is. I was like, ma'am, my name's Michael. He's looking at me, and I was like, hump day. And I went, and she goes, how do I know his name's really Michael and he's not some man covering for you? And I was like, all right, lady, I'm going to show you my driver's license because I feel so bad for this husband.
Yeah.
I just feel like this guy just walked into, the worst day of his life, and he wasn't even aiming for it, kind of thing. So yeah, husband. We'll get to husband and wife stories about stuff here in a minute, but so that's Wednesday, and then Thursday we are doing the
Karaoke.
Karaoke. Okay, and
actually I got my days confused. We're actually looking at doing dance lessons on Wednesdays.
That's right.
Thinking about doing open mic on Thursdays in addition with our karaoke.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, they go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. And so if you're a band and you want to audition, I think the best way to do it is bring your guitar up here on open mic night.
That would be fantastic.
And try to audition for everyone. And quit asking me. I get that question once a week, dude. Hey, everyone's like, "Can I get a phone number?" No, you cannot.
We get a lot of bands reaching out daily.
Sure.
And it's hard to keep up. So if you're a band that's reached out and we haven't gotten back, I apologize. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Eventually,
keep trying.
I'm making my way through the list. But
let us know where you're playing so we can go watch you there.
Yes.
They can get out and go watch you. I mean, that's how. I had told y'all about one band for a while, and you're like, look, I'm not bringing them in until I can see them.
Right.
Then you went and saw them, and y'all saw them in like Fredericksburg when y'all went down there for a good time in Fredericksburg and saw him, and it was amazing.
Yes.
He will be here. That was great. That was fun. We had a good time with that one. So, all right, and then Friday and Saturday night is live music. Who is this Friday?
This Friday is Garrett Glover.
So we're April 10th right now.
Yes.
Friday would be the 12th.
Yes.
And then April 13th is?
Pawn Shop Pearls.
Pawn Shop Pearls. And so, great. And what, have you heard them before? Have you all these?
Yes, they've played. Yes, they've both bands have played here previously.
And what's I know the Garrett, he's country, right?
Yeah, they both are.
Oh, they both are?
Yeah.
Pawn Shop Pearls. I didn't know.
They are.
Pawn Shop Pearls is a name that could go either way, right? I mean, might be an 80s
They're
band.
fun. They're both really fun bands we have this weekend.
And I know that we've talked about we want to do an 80s night. You'd like to get 80s night going. So if you're an 80s band, reach out. And doing just once a month or something, trying to do a 90s.
Yeah, just kind of something
thing,
different.
80s thing.
Once.
You gonna dress up like an 80s girl?
I am not.
Like the little Punky Brewster outfit, I think it'd be awesome. That's why you gotta bring them in here.
I'm pretty plain Jane.
It's funny because Steven and I, if we were dressed up like we did in the 80s, it's still the same dress today. It's like the 3-button polo shirt, and maybe comb your hair to the side or something, like a little boy going to get his pictures.
He had a little rat tail when he was in the 80s. So.
Yeah. Mullets. We could all wear, get some
mullets are coming back.
Mullet wigs, Yeah, I have been told no by any and every person I know. Whenever I tell them I'm going to wear a mullet, they go, no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Never under any circumstances are you allowed to wear that in public. All right, so covered that. Now let's talk about staff. First of all, who's the smiling face that they see when they come through the door to pay on the weekend? Janice has been with y'all forever.
Yep, she's been with us since we took over. Yep.
When y'all went no smoking, I was so happy because it had gone viral, and everybody was saying something about it, and I was like, I got to go get them. I got to get them come on my other show.
Yeah.
So I bust in here and I didn't even pay, just walked straight up to the seat and was like, okay, that's it. Y'all got to come on. I think Janice was going to sick them big boys on me.
She will.
And y'all were like, no. He's not here for, he's here for business. And I turned around and they was big.
Yeah.
Those were some guys. I was like, whoa.
You're not getting past that door.
I'm 6'1", 300 pounds.
She'll make everybody else wait so she can come tell somebody, hey, that guy didn't pay.
Y'all got to wait because that guy didn't pay. She'll chase you down,
That's
right?
right?
Oxygen tank and everything, right?
Absolutely.
She's like, don't make me take this off and whoop you, kind of thing. So Janice has been here forever. She'd been, I think y'all got her when you bought the place, right? Did you?
I think.
Did they sell Janice to you too?
I think she started with us right after.
Did she? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. And so Janice is the gatekeeper.
Yes.
And then we have Ashley's a manager.
Yes.
And Andrea's bartender.
Yes.
One of the bartenders. Who's the others?
So we also have Lewis. He's our daytime manager.
Yeah. Well, Lewis, you did buy with the bar.
He came with the bar, yes, and so did Tina. So she's been our longest standing bartender. They're both at 20 plus years of having been with Hoots. So then we have Ashley, Andrea. On the back bar we have Candy, Colin, and Courtney.
Right.
And then our staff that takes care of our customers on the floor. We have Emma, Marley, Bailey, and we have Kat. And I don't think I'm forgetting anybody.
I don't think so, but I mean, I would point out that you guys gainfully employ 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Between security and we have barbacks every weekend.
Right.
So yeah.
And you pay very well for those positions from.
We try, to compensate everybody fairly.
I'm this close to being one of them. I am like one bad day, It's like when you're driving down the road with your kids,
yeah,
and you see like that homeless dude arguing with a light pole.
Yeah, you're like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah, the kids are like, oh, I wonder how bad his life was where he got to that point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm about 3 bad days away from being right there next to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna take this light pole together, Bubba, because I'm tired of it too. You just cheese slip off the cracker. So, and we'll talk about your cheese slipping off the cracker here in a minute.
Oh
but
God!
I gotta.
Which time?
Well, we got to talk about the last one. The last one is the funniest one for me. All right, so to set the story up, who's on stage playing?
Okay, we're talking about this
one where the panic attack.
Okay, so
I've got one of my own. Let me tell mine first because we've told you.
Well, I forgot one very important staff member.
Oh, who?
Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
B.
Our DJ.
Oh, B.
Our DJ.
I don't know. I don't know what I think of as Brandon. Is he staff? I think he's like Oz. He's the great and powerful voice behind the curtain.
He is exactly that.
Right. And we'll show his little DJ booth here on a reel for y'all so you can see it.
He keeps the party rolling for us on the weekends.
He's got that voice.
Yep.
He's got that voice.
He
He's
does,
perfect for it.
and he's here on Thursdays for karaoke. He completes us.
Nice.
So.
nice. So, so I got to tell my story. So I'm going to pick on it. It was David Graham was up there playing, okay, and Rusty Strings.
Yep. And
they had just came from off of their break and come back up onto the stage. And it was absolutely hilarious because I'm standing over by the corner by the Golden Tea machine, and I was talking with someone who called me over, hey, do you think you could film them? Do you think you could produce a video or something for them? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm talking, and all of a sudden this lady falls out, just drops right to the floor right beside us. So, of course, everyone, what's the closest thing, grabbed the microphone. And we're like, hey, somebody just went down over here. And I turned to Dave and I said, somebody just went down over here. And they tell me, tell so-and-so to come to over here. So I said the guy's name.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the guy's name. He was the guitar player for the band. Oh, no. So they just went back up to play. They had to come back out. I mean, like police, EMS, all this stuff,
Oh, my goodness.
I never figured out she was fine.
Yeah.
They took her away, and David told me she was fine later.
Oh, okay,
but
good.
It was one of those things where you're like, and I mean, they got back up there. The guys got back up there and played. The show must go on,
Yes,
They
will.
Hats off to Rusty Strings for doing that. So yours last week.
Yes, this was not this Saturday that just passed, but the Saturday before. It was the 7-6 band was here playing, and I'm standing here actually at the bar. I don't remember what I was doing, but I had my phone in my hand, and
I think you were taking a film, or you were taking photos
or something. And so I'm standing facing this direction, and about 3 times after he says he needs a manager or security to the front, it dawns on me. So I toss my phone across the bar.
I'm a manager and security.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm all of the above.
I better go help. So you took off and went.
I take off. I get up there, and there's a woman laying on the floor on her back, and her face is kind of distorted, and I think seizure was my first thought of seizure. Flip her on her side, realize she's not convulsing. Then she flips all the way over and is hitting the floor, and I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking, is she choking? I'm trying to ask her, and a gentleman leans in and says she's having a panic attack. And I was like, oh my gosh, but this is a I've never seen somebody have a panic attack like this.
I mean, you said like distorted face
I
and
mean,
everything. When you got
everything
there.
was just wrong. And she was screaming and not able to really breathe in too well. And so the screaming is, I didn't know what to do. I really
It was a banshee.
Yeah, like a banshee. I had no idea what to do. I'm just standing there. Thankfully we had a couple of nurses in the building who were able to come and try to assess the situation. Well, the band is trying to play. Nobody really knows what to do because this is scary for everyone. Well, then we come to find out she's diabetic, and her blood sugar was also high, and EMTs finally get here, and the music is completely off by this point. And as I'm going to, they've got her loaded on the stretcher. I'm fixing to go tell B, we can go ahead and turn the music back on. They strapped her to it, and the screaming just started all over again. But the building was already so quiet that it was all, and so I just looked at Brandon, I'm like, turn it up.
There's 200 people looking at this.
Immediately he gets the volume going back again, and I walk out, follow him out, because I feel bad because I don't know what to do to help. And the EMTs, they get her loaded, and the screaming in the ambulance is so loud, and I'm thinking, well, I hope you guys have a great night.
Yeah.
The person that was with her that rode in the ambulance ended up coming back later. So I was like, well, I guess everything was fine.
Wow. Rode with her in the ambulance, then got an Uber back to the bar.
Back, I guess.
I'm tired of this screaming. I need a drink. And then took off and left, right?
It was the strangest.
Okay, moral of the story is if you have anxiety, don't go to where there's 200 people.
Yes, there was probably over 300 people here at the time that this started. This is a busy place on the weekends. So if crowds are not your thing, this is not the place.
The dance steps just didn't work for her, for whoever was dancing with her.
I don't even know how long I don't think she'd been here too terribly long.
Oh, wow.
So
diabetic.
It escalated quickly.
Found out she was diabetic.
Yes.
Found out
and then,
panic attacks, been drinking.
When you have something like that going on, 20 or 30 people feel the need to surround the person. And so half of the battle is telling everybody to back up, get back, give her space, because especially if you're the person that's having the medical emergency, you don't want 20, 30 people standing around staring.
Right.
And then people, you tell them to move and they're like I'm like, you're going to get your seat back. I don't know why you won't move, but I'm going to need you to go.
In this day and age with people, I think it really drastically changed with COVID, but people's manners and some people just feel really entitled. I know as a stand-up comedian, like people are trying to interact with you, and you have to almost turn it into a comedic act where you scold them. You're like, you had one job to do, and it was to shut up. If I'm not making you laugh, don't laugh.
Right.
If I make you laugh, laugh. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. This is not a question and answer period. This is not a moment where anyone have any questions for me type stuff, and you have to almost scold the audience. And I think a lot of people, the greatest story I have from here, I wasn't even in here when this happened, but it was the mail review. When y'all did the mail review, I didn't know it was going on. I don't have any skin in the game. I don't have anyone that's going to want to go see that.
Yeah.
So I don't know my friends are going to see it. I'm not going to be included in that story. So I would say it's about 4 years ago, y'all did it.
Mm-hmm. Probably about 3.5 maybe.
And I mean, they got like a really cool name, it's like,
the Hunk Show.
The Hunk Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I've interviewed or had a conversation with the lead, the guy that's the voice, the MC.
Uh-huh.
And he's like just a cupcake when you talk to him. He's just sweet and sassy and all. But then he gets on that, and he's like, ladies, welcome to the show, and so it was an awesome stage voice. And I spoke with him, but y'all were doing the review, and y'all have it here. And I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what
I
was
wasn't
out
here,
there.
actually.
Oh, you weren't here for that? Oh, I heard there were a
but
lot of washboard stomachs.
We could do like a whole show, and you could interview the guys that were here for that.
I would
and
love to, because they would be
absolutely
hilarious.
The most funny podcast you ever
did. So we're going to talk about some of the funny. So you weren't there, I wasn't there, and I got a lot of secondhand information.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to pick on some people, but we'll change the names to protect the innocent, right?
Okay.
So I'm down at another bar, and I'm sitting there with all these guys, and all of a sudden I notice everyone smells good, and everyone's like wearing their nice Western shirts and cowboy hats, like they're gonna. I'm like, boy, where are you guys? Are y'all gonna take an Uber and go cat around somewhere? You know, you're looking for. I'm thinking of the T-Birds from Grease 2.
Yeah.
You know, we're going prowling. You know, all these guys look like that, and they go, you don't know? And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, go home and get changed, and you can go with us. Where are we going? I'm not going with y'all anywhere. Well, we're going down to Hoots. They got a male review down there, so about 1,000 women are in there, and they're gonna be just ready for us when we get there. And I'm like, wait a minute. So these women just went and saw half-naked men in banana hammocks dancing around, showing off their goodies. And you guys are the consolation prize. You know, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. So we have someone, which I don't know if they're still alive or around, in the community who wears the old 1970s shirts. He's very old. Got it open. Got the high karate. I think he invested in high karate in 1971. And the ladies told me, I said, well, who was the first guy y'all saw whenever y'all went? And they were like, he was. We walked out the door, and he was standing there waiting, like a kid waiting for recess, his fast run at the door, and like, boom, come through that door. Ooh, ladies, I'm here, you know. If anyone needs a consolation prize, here I am, you know. And I thought that was the great. And I mean, that bar, as soon as y'all were done with it, I guess them boys got a text. And it was just like I was the only person in here with. I was the only person in there with a bar drink. I was like, I'm not going down there, dude, because my luck, somebody might think I am a consolation prize and grab a hold of me. I don't want that. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all stocked up on crazy. Don't need your help. But the show, the friends of mine who, you know, come away. It wasn't like it was Vegas. What happened there stayed there.
No.
There were people tattling on each other and dropping dimes. So-and-so was looking at that one and saying this. So-and-so got mad because they didn't dance for her friend and was up there on the stage arguing with them. And I could just feel that these guys probably, these poor guys were just like, get me out of here.
Well,
you know like,
that particular show, they travel all over the country.
Right.
So I've actually been looking at their schedule to see like when they're going to be in the vicinity and see if we can't book another one, because it was just so many great reviews came from it.
Oh my God, that's
everybody
awesome.
That was here had a great time.
Well, I personally want you to look into midget wrestling, but I don't think y'all are ever going to do it for me. I think that it would be awesome.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about that the other day.
I think we did, and I want it to happen. I think it would be amazing.
Actually, somebody suggested, maybe it was, I don't know if it was you or not, somebody suggested we, this upcoming rodeo, start the first half of the day with midget wrestling.
That wasn't me, but I'm in. I'm ready for the rodeo.
The second half of the day is the bull riding.
Yeah, we'll get them in here. They can wrestle out there in the arena, right? It'll help till it up just a little bit, get it ready when it's over and done. So let's jump right into the rodeos. Y'all do one about once every year.
Once every year. Yeah, we do them in October usually, towards the end of October.
Okay. And that's Knapp Ranch. Jimmy Fricks puts that on. Great. Awesome performance.
Always.
That little girl Trinity King got out there on the bull.
Yeah.
And it was bounce, face in the dirt.
Yep. Well, this last one, one of the bulls, he caught a hold of the arena
and lifted it up.
And you know, I happened to be standing out there just for some reason, I don't know why, but I was standing still.
Yeah. And
I'm watching like this slow motion situation, and I'm standing by like where all the tables are, and I'm looking at all these people that are there. There's a gate around them because it was the VIP area, and the bull was on the other end of the arena, and he lifted it up, and I'm thinking we're fixing to have a major problem, but he put it back down. Nice. But everybody was out of their seats ready to run, and I'm thinking I'm going to get trampled. I can't freak out, even though my insides I'm freaking out.
I've seen them jump those high fences, come over it, and I'll never forget. I was at the time I was with some friends and family, their family. and that bull came over there towards us, and I jumped back into my old days and slap it on the head and trying to run around it and get its attention. And it ran back through the fence and did it perfectly, like I knew what I was doing.
Hey.
And everybody was like, "That was so amazing."
That was awesome.
And I was like, I always think of the story of Frog and George, where they're bouncing along on the road and he falls into a pothole and he can't get out. And he's reaching down, Frog is reaching down to get George, and he's trying to pull him out, and he can't because their hands are slippery.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm sorry, man, you're not going to make it." And then he's hopping along, and then here comes George hopping beside him. He goes, "How'd you get out of there?" He goes, "There was a truck coming. I had to get out." Well, that was me. They were like, "How did you get so good at fighting bulls?" There was a bull there.
Yeah,
I had to fight.
No choice.
I did not want to be.
Yeah.
I could just see myself like those people with the running of the bulls in Spain, where they're getting thrown all over, and everybody's like, "Look at Mike, look at that. We got good video of Mike getting trampled by the bull."
Oh my goodness.
Look at his face right there. He looks very, very worried. I think it would happen. So, yeah, you do the bull riding once a year.
Yeah, we'll have a vendor booth set up out there, a bounce house.
Because I have vendors who've expressed interest. How much is it to have a vendor booth here?
I want to say we did $125 last year.
$125
and that's,
a booth.
Includes your 12x12 booth and power to the booth. And vendors just need to bring their own Wi-Fi.
Okay.
We do have Wi-Fi, but if they're needing, like, it may be at bandwidth that day.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and 80 people on the Wi-Fi is going to bring it down.
Well, yeah, it'll be at least 80.
Yeah, so at least. So.
But yeah, we'll have vendors set up, food trucks, bounce house, face painting. It's just a good day, good family day.
Yeah.
Tons of fun.
Do y'all do any other vendor days like that, or is that the
Not
only?
yet. Something I've been kind of thinking about adding, though, maybe like one Sunday a month, daytime, because we have cornhole Sunday evenings, but a lot of times we don't have it during the day.
Nice.
So I've been thinking about doing like maybe a monthly or quarterly or something like
Right.
that. And then that wouldn't, I don't think that would cost the vendors anything.
No.
Just to come.
Just come and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to come out. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And all right, so now let's get back to some of the funny.
Oh gosh.
Because I got to pick on you and Ashley. Y'all are how tall are you?
I'm about 5'4".
Mm-hmm.
She's about 5 foot.
Right. And it's all, I don't even know how to say it. It's all attitude and eyes when y'all get in the middle of somebody. Y'all's eyes get going and they're staring, and it's
the old saying, dynamite, small packages.
Yep. Hell hath no fury.
Yeah.
All those cliches on women. That's I always shake my head whenever somebody just gets y'all spun up and stuff, because first y'all are coming into it, then next there's these big dudes coming to handle it.
Yeah.
And Big B's got to get involved. He's like 6'9".
Yep.
I don't know. He's like this big
You're
monster.
in trouble.
He about to get taller even. I mean, so it's to me it's absolutely idiotic to start any trouble.
Well,
in the bar.
we're pretty strict, When we first took over the bar, there was quite a bit of fighting that went on and took place, and we pretty much put a stop to that as quickly as possible. It takes time, of course, but it's funny. Me and Ashley always joke, if there's two men, really the worst that's happened in recent time is mouthing. Nobody's physically had an altercation, but if it's two men, either one, she or I'll get right in the middle of them and, tell them, cut it out, go outside, whatever. If it's two women, we're both like, nope, I'm going to get one of the guys. We're not getting in between two women, because women are mean.
Yeah, women are mean. There's claws, there's scratches,
there's hair
pulling. It's no.
Yeah,
I can say from my point of view, I've been here since 2017. I came in here probably 2 weeks after me being here. It was at times rougher, and you saw things, and then there was a dark period whenever it went under the wrong ownership, and it got really bad, and nobody came down here. And once we got word, because it was originally Stephen and two others, and once we got word of that, we were like, well, those are pillars in the community. That's going to work really well.
Right.
And then when it was just you and Stephen, and y'all bought them out and went to your thing, because the other two guys, they don't need any more aggravation. They have
yeah.
they have business and work that they're doing. Y'all cleaned it up considerably, and it was so funny because haters. You deal with haters on your website all the time. I deal with them on my podcast. I deal with them. I love haters to chime in, and they're like, well, I used to go there, but it got so bad. They're always calling the cops. And I'm like, yeah, because people are always being stupid.
They'd much rather us call and have that person removed,
right,
than let them stay.
And I always told everybody, from the school district cops stories that I have from my past, I only had to write tickets the first 6 weeks of school. And then the rest of the school year, they were good.
Yeah.
So I only wrote 3 or 4 tickets, and word got around it cost them $250 for disrupting school classes.
Yeah.
And their parents got really, really mad and took the belt to their butt. And then there was no more trouble. Well, that's, people go, hey, if you're going to, I've been in here where somebody goes, hey, if you're going to start trouble, you do know they'll get the cops here real quick.
Yeah.
The cops, there'll be 19 of them here in about a split second.
They hang around just in case we ever need them.
And then, and I've seen it. So I tell people all the time, don't go in there and start the SH.
Yep.
You will get the IT.
Yes,
and I don't want you to be that person
Yep.
that I see, because I'm going to talk about it on my radio show, that your picture's plastered up there for getting arrested in Joco or Tarrant County for whatever it was you did, And, we've seen friends of ours in there, that you're like, you got to tell me that story. You got to explain to me how that happened.
We've had some close, people that we're acquainted with that have had to be.
Yeah. And I can't wait to hear. What happened was, I have a friend named Greg, and he would always say, where I went wrong was.
Yeah.
And that's when you knew he was going to tell you a story that ended up with a mugshot in it.
It sucks sometimes because alcohol affects people in just such different ways. You've got some that are just totally whatever you say, they're like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm going to, if you cut them off or whatever.
Right.
And then you have other people who don't handle their alcohol as well.
I don't think I've only been kicked out of one bar up here, and it was a total misunderstanding that I was in.
Yeah.
It wasn't here.
Yeah.
I've never been cut off, but I don't get blitzed. I'm the 2-drink guy if I'm driving.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna be drinking, I get dropped off and picked up.
Sure.
Whether it's Uber or whatever. Many a nights I've taken an Uber here.
Yep.
Or had someone drop me off and then took an Uber home, just because I don't want to run the risk.
We order Ubers for people all the time too.
Yeah.
If we have a patron that's had too much to drink, or we'll even get people that we haven't served at all that show up that we're like, oh hey,
we can't let you drive.
We can't serve you, but we'll still order you an Uber. So.
And my biggest problem whenever I was in the bar scene running things was the person who pre-gamed. And you're like, man, I served you 2 drinks and you're this way?
Yeah.
What did you do? Well, I might have took something.
Yeah.
You might have took something. Are you insane? Now you're going to try to drive home?
Yeah.
I can't let you drive home.
And the liability falls on your bartender.
Yeah.
At that point. It's
they will do jail time.
Yep.
There's a bar, I forget what it was named there in the Woodlands, Texas, that some lady, they looked at it and she drank like 17 shots and got in her car, drove the wrong way on 45 and killed her family. And I was like, dude, how did you let this person have that much alcohol?
Sure.
Like, how did you even, and there's a bunch of conspiracy theories behind it that somebody else was driving the car and got away. But nevertheless, you that many drinks and you were in a car.
Right.
I'd go out there and slice my tires and sleep in the back of the truck before I.
And we do everything we can to keep people from getting in that situation.
Sure.
So.
Have you ever been pulled over by the cops, just like for a ticket or anything like that?
Me?
Yeah, when you're driving down the road speeding. Mm-hmm. What are you like when the cop pulls you over? Are you apologetic, or do you cry?
It's been a long time since I've been pulled over. I'm trying to think the last time I was pulled over.
I'm pretty much busted when they pull me
over.
over.
I'm like guilty. I'm like, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. I was speeding.
So guilty of speeding.
Yes, I'll take my ticket gracefully.
Yeah.
I'm not a deny. I'm just yes, sir. I understand.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over? No, sir. Do you know you're speeding? No, sir. And like, you don't think you were speeding? No, sir. Yeah, why not? Because I saw you, so I had slowed way down. Had I not seen you, I would have probably been very much so speeding, way faster than what I should have been, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those that rides on someone's bumper, so I don't. If I can go, I go. If I can't,
I'm definitely, if I'm in the left lane, I'm definitely riding the person's bumper.
Are you?
that's
Oh,
in
well,
front
in
of
the
me.
left lane.
If you're
yeah.
in front of me in the left lane and you're going as fast as the guy in the right lane,
my
I'm
gosh.
going to be the rude driver behind you.
I would be the guy beside you in the seat with the seat puckered up inside my butt going, oh, that's what Steven
Yeah,
does, huh?
Steven's
he's,
like-
he's along for the miserable. He's over there shaking his head. He's got a shirt that says, I'm with crazy when he's
Yes,
riding down the road
yes.
with you, huh?
He's like, are you Mario Andretti? I'm like, maybe.
Do
But
these
this guy's in
people-
the left lane going 65.
Do you hate these people in front of us? Is that what it is? I love it. That's awesome. So, all right. So when was the last time you got a ticket, you think? Years ago?
The last time I got a ticket,
It's been like a decade for me.
it's been
a
at
long
least,
time.
the last time I got pulled over, I didn't get a ticket.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But that was, I don't
Arlington
know.
got
Hayden
me.
was, I think it was Hayden playing football
How
at
old's-
Kerr, so,
Oh,
or
that's
maybe
wild.
at Centennial. I don't remember, but it's been a one.
How old's Hayden now?
28.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
But yeah, it's been a
over
long
a
time.
decade.
Yeah,
at least
so.
maybe 15 years. Yeah, mine was Arlington PD pulled me over, and I was barreling down. It was like 2019, and I had a professor that I went to college late in life because of the military, and so I had this professor that wanted me to do a story on the wanted me to do a story on the AR-15s. And I didn't want to do the AR-15 story because they wanted me to do it about assault rifles and all this stuff, and I wanted to do more of a gun safety course.
Yeah.
And maybe how to intervene with somebody that's attacking you, make a plan and do stuff. And I wanted to go that angle, and I was mad as heck, and all of a sudden, woo! And he was like, why are you speeding? And I said, it's funny you should ask that, officer. I'm a 20-year military veteran. I want to do a story about how you should react whenever and he wanted to do a story about AR-15s and how dangerous and they should be banned. And I don't want to do that doggone story. And this officer, okay, so that's why you were speeding? Like he was, and then he was like trying to help me with the story. He goes, well, I consult and I could do, he goes, I won't charge you anything. You can come and talk to me. So I got his information and stuff, and he goes, I'm not writing you a ticket because you're a veteran, but you're going to slow down, aren't you? Yes, I am.
Absolutely.
Yes, I am.
Lesson
Boy, and I
learned.
was 10 and 2 and 65, stay alive the whole way home, right? Thinking my lucky stars I didn't have to do defensive driving. Which I think you can do it on the internet now. But back in the day, you remember we had to go and it was like a whole day.
Yeah, I used to have an attorney I would call, and I'd get any tickets. This was when I was much younger.
Yeah, right.
Get a ticket deferred.
Yeah.
Or deferred
Adjudication or whatever?
Yeah, whatever the word is.
You pretty girls, I swear.
Well,
y'all
he
get away.
was the same. He had the same situation.
Yeah, he's pretty too. That's why I go in there and they're like, nope, you're screwed. Ain't going to work. That's not going to happen. All right. So, we've already covered who you got this weekend. Who's coming up in 2 weeks? Can you think of it? Who it is off the top of your
I
head?
can tell you.
Yeah, we got to look.
It'll take me just a
Man,
quick second.
You guys always got somebody, and you're booking them out like 5-6 weeks in advance, aren't you?
We're booked actually almost through June
Good.
right now.
Good.
Next Friday is John Hope and the Jack Wagons. That's going to be their first time playing here. And next Saturday is Big in Vegas.
Big in Vegas. I've
And
heard Big
they're-
in Vegas numerous times. They are good.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
very
them.
good.
They've
They're
played here
very good.
several times.
Yeah,
And
they're
I
one
think
of
I might
our
have heard 'em.
regular. every
And I know
couple
that
months.
Bullet Creek plays here.
They're at the end of this month.
Scott Legal.
Yep.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a
He
great
was-
guy.
He's supposed to be on the show with me one time, and he got laryngitis, and
Oh no.
that's got like something wrong with his throat. I don't know if it's laryngitis or just
Yeah.
some kind of sore throat. But he was. I was like, oh man, I have so many questions for you because,
We'll have to bring him on one time.
I know, right? I've been watching them for years.
We used to watch his dad over at Miranda's.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
That
Ronnie.
runs in the family, huh?
Yeah. Oh, he was phenomenal.
Nice.
Phenomenal.
Nice. And I had someone reach out to me the other day. They want to do like a mixed martial arts fight here, back there in the back pasture. They set up an octagon, and they were like, "Do you think they'd go for it?" And I was like, "I'm gonna ask them on the show because I don't know. I mean, like,
that's going to be a Steven
I'm
question.
going to go see their show, though. I'm going to go see where it's at, and I'll let y'all know what I think of it.
It's just a show they put on? You just bring
I
in
don't know if
chairs and people
Yeah,
watch?
they set up an octagon, and I think people just stand or they bring their lawn chairs because it's outside.
Yeah.
And they set it up and
That
do
might
the
be
fight.
fun. Yeah,
They
that
do
might
the
be
fight,
fun.
and then
Yeah.
when the fight's over with, they pack everything up and go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like wrestling and it's
Yeah, well, you'll have
staged,
to fill me
or
in
if
once
it's
you go see it.
I don't know if it's staged or
Yeah.
what, you know what I mean? But it's something
Something
different.
different.
That's what I always tell everybody. Try something different every
Yeah.
now and then.
Sure.
Don't make a habit out of every Thursday night is
Yeah.
ostrich fighting.
Yeah.
We have 2 emus go into arena and 2 emus enter, 1 walks out, like kind of thing. You're like, I don't know. I know that they do some kind of like turtle races at some place I've seen, and
we had a couple of people ask us to do chicken shit bingo.
yeah, chicken shit bingo.
So that would be, but I don't,
like,
I don't know.
I don't want chicken shit on my.
I just like,
It just sounds really
it's
difficult.
so
right?
gross. Chicken
And how
shit is
long do
so
we have to
gross
wait for them
anyway,
to poop?
yeah.
What if they don't?
Not long.
Oh,
actually.
really?
They're pretty.
Well, they feed them a bunch of stuff before they get here. They're pretty
active.
regular.
Their bowels are very active. I
Oh,
have chickens
God.
at home, and
What about goat yoga? You could do some goat yoga classes
Ooh.
in here, huh?
I think fainting goats.
Oh man!
Have you seen the
Oh,
fainting
they're
goats?
so freaking
They're
cool.
hilarious.
Ah, and then they just flip over.
UPS truck comes driving down. There's one whole TikTok just dedicated to fainting goats.
Oh my God!
I cry laughing.
Oh my God!
I cry. Our son, years ago, we had a neighbor that lived, I don't know, a quarter of a mile away, and one of his good friends lived next door to these people with the fainting goats, and he would come home all the time telling us about, I ran outside and I screamed at the goats, and they all just fainted, and it was so funny. And I remember telling him, that's so mean.
And you're like, I don't-
And now as an adult, I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever
Every
seen.
time you see it, right?
Every time.
Time you see it, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I know that I want goats so bad for my ranch so that they can help clean it up,
Yeah.
and stuff. But I don't have a source of water to keep there for them 24/7.
Yeah.
So I've got to truck the water in
Yeah.
or haul
Get
it
you
on
a
my
stock
mule
tank.
and get me a stock tank. And I'm not ready yet,
Yeah.
but I'm so close to getting them. But that would be my first go-to is the fainting ones.
Yeah.
Be like,
Oh, that'd be
nothing
so
better
much
than
fun.
have a couple of beers and then go watch this.
Just so funny.
See them just fall out
Yeah.
while it's over and done.
And when
with.
you have a whole group of them and they all just at the same exact time, it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's a riot.
What do you think is the worst gimmick a bar could ever try to do?
Worst gimmick.
That you just think is like the kiss of death for a bar? Like if anyone ever comes to you about it, you're just like, no.
Ooh. I don't know.
Mine was a reptile show. A
Oh.
bar tried to do a reptile show one time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, just because you love snakes
There mu-
and bearded dragons and all that
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
not everyone is
I'd have
going
to agree with you
love
on that.
snakes and bearded dragons. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And trying to think, what else was there that was a bad one? I did go to, what really surprised me one night was I went to a bar that had a James Bond themed night.
Oh,
And
okay.
and it was, everybody was in tuxedos and
Oh, I bet that was
everybody was dressed, like
to
Bond
the
girls
nines, yeah.
and stuff, dressed to the nines, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a real fun. It was like an adult prom,
Yeah, that does
almost
sound
kind of
kinda
thing. And they had like specials on martinis and
Yeah.
Long Island iced teas and stuff like that. And it was a great night. People
Yeah.
were arriving in limos. It was a
Oh,
lot
how
of fun.
fun.
It was people really went all out on that one.
Yeah.
And then we had a night where you go and you pick clothes up from Goodwill, and you dress your significant other in
Yeah,
that.
you get
They
to
have
pick
to
what they
wear
wear,
what they.
yeah.
And man, that was interesting. Let me tell you something. Some wives got even with husbands on that night.
I've
know.
seen some videos on those.
My
Pretty
buddy
funny.
was in he's probably a size large or medium shirt. He was in a Cub Scout Masters, Boy Scout Masters shirt, big, huge brown shirt
Yeah.
that was for like a size 4X on
Oh,
him.
how funny.
So he was dressed as the Cub Scout Master. He
Yeah.
won the party. He hands down won the best costume there. There were people walking around with fanny pouches and just stuff that just you hadn't seen. You hadn't seen it forever.
Last year we talked about doing a pajama party during the winter last year. We never did do it.
Nice.
But I think that might be something fun.
It'd be nice you girls. Well, I think y'all have people that wear their pajamas
We
in
do.
here from time to time.
There's
turn around seeing a girl with pajama bottoms and a pair of Crocs on. I'm like, that was the outfit she chose tonight, right?
There's all kinds of great attire
right.
to be seen here on the weekends.
Yeah. I'm not really looking forward to finding a relationship, and your outfit says it. You know, that was what you thought was the sexiest thing you could put on tonight.
Yep.
Was to walk in here in pajamas. Awesome.
We get some interesting ones.
So hopefully, if Ashley watches this, she'll see how easy it is to do this. We can get her on.
She wants to come on next week.
She does.
She wanted to today, but she had a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
So
Good.
She's all in. I already told her it's happening.
Yeah, and I've got my equipment coming in tonight at 8:00.
Okay.
On Amazon, so we can get 4 mics going at once.
Awesome.
And get a few drinks in us.
We should have named it the Shit Show instead of the Hoots Happenings.
It will certainly become one if we. I wish we could record us whenever we are here, and we're not on a clock and nobody's doing. That is going to be comedy gold. And you know, it's funny, the regulars who have already approached me, the few that I've told about this, have already approached me and go, oh, I need to come on there and tell the story of, and I was like, yeah, you're going to tell that story, but you're going to change a lot of names.
Yeah.
And if anyone's still around that's involved in it, you know, that's something else. I mean, I have I can tell this story now because he's passed away, but you remember Pete Kelly? One leg?
Yeah.
When I met Pete Kelly, he had probably just removed that leg. They had probably just removed it. And so he's still in his mind. I mean, I think he was like a bouncer here like 20 years ago. He was something. Pete Kelly been around forever.
Yeah.
He was something, and he was 10 foot tall and bulletproof and tough.
Yeah.
And the guys told me, you know, we used to look up to him. We used to emulate him, try to be like him.
Yeah.
And so first night I met Pete Kelly, Robbie Aquino introduced me to him, and we talked for a little bit. But as he got drunker, he got real feisty, like he wanted to, and it finally dawned on me, and I was like, Mr. Kelly, I said, I'm not the guy who's going to get beat up by a one-legged man, and I'm not the guy that's going to beat a one-legged man up. I'm going to pay my tab. I said, let me get his tab too, and I paid his tab, and later on, Robbie made him, he's like, man, you're an idiot. He's a nice guy. He's an ex-combat veteran, you know. He goes, why would you do that? And so chastised old Pete, and then Pete come back later and was, I'm so sorry for that, man. But that was early on whenever I was here, like before y'all owned it, and it was so funny because I could just see that.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, Navy veteran just beats the tar out of one-legged man, you know. And like, wait a minute, he got mad at me, and he wasn't.
He started it.
He's a real tough dude. It's not like he really was just born with one leg. Yeah. He lost that leg. He used to bull ride. He got hands like rosin. You know, I mean, the guy knew what he was doing, you know, kind of thing in a fist fight. So, but I was so scared. I'm like, Robbie, I gotta go, man. He's mean. So I don't know. He must have been drinking some straight tequila or something because it ticked him off, you know.
Oh goodness.
Do you ever see that? You ever see that person that from time to time that you just have to watch them because they change after they've been drinking? Yeah. I remember as a bartender, there were certain people that I'd be like, okay, this is your third one, and you ain't got to ride.
Or somebody on the weekends. Every here and there, someone will catch my attention, and I'm like, okay, we got to watch. And it's just.
Oh, it happened the last time we were in here. Yeah. You had the little girl, gorgeous little girl run around in here, and you're just like, no, this is not.
There was.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, for sure there was.
And sure enough, and eventually Andrea's like, no, I can't serve you anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
She ended up writing us a 1-star review.
Oh, man.
Like, well,
I'm like,
sorry, you got cut off.
I would take that 1 star with pride. Like, you give me a 1-star review if you're still alive. I'm glad you were there to put that 1 star out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When it's over and done with.
Exactly.
Awesome. So we're going to be doing this every week on Wednesday. Hopefully I can have it published out tonight, if not by tomorrow morning. But it's going to be out every week on Wednesday. And
so what platforms is it going out to?
Oh, yeah. Glad you asked that. So I put it into a platform that pushes it out to iHeartMedia, Amazon, Apple, and just about anywhere you would get a podcast.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take the video and publish it to YouTube. and put it out on YouTube, and we'll work out where we're going to put that from now on.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see where it goes, and hope you guys stay tuned in and come back and see us, and make sure you take care of yourself and each other. See y'all later.
See you later.
Bye.